Twisted 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Yes! You just made the list!
Brock Lesnar.
And hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stuart Vine.
And my name is Joshua Plummer.
Yes, we're back for another review. And we're back for NXT Takeover in Your House 2021. And as kind of the thing like last year, it did kind of feel of a show that springed up out of nowhere. If I felt like it did. I'm assuming you're the same, Josh.
Very much so. WWE was promoting the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. It's 4 weeks away. It's 3 weeks away. And then TakeOver just kind of reared its head. Oh, crap. That's the week before. Damn. It's usually... the TakeOver was it usually take the kind of Saturday spot. And then the Sunday show would be the main show. The Hell in the Cell, the SummerSlam, the Manias. I quite like that because then everything was just all together. You just devote that one weekend to it rather than just being completely sporadic. Going, okay, what show is it now? Oh Christ! And now there's AEW to contend with as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's NXT has always been that kind of show now. It's like it's been talked for a while now. It's like people kind of figure out it's like what NXT doesn't know what it is anymore. It's like it used to be a show. It knew what it was. It was a very high quality, high paced kind of developmental brand. And now it's kind of gone. Now it's shifted into a third brand, and it's like people don't know. Like it's got the same something when all the glaring problems that you normally wouldn't look at of NXT are now glaringly obvious now because of they used to have a good couple of months cycle of wrestlers. They all done well, or like a couple of years, and then they all buggered off up to the main roster. And then we had new stars, but it's not the same in the moment. But yeah, I wish they would do that because it'd just be actually. You say that though, it would mean we'd have to do like 2 reviews over a weekend. So when you think about it, it's probably a good thing they've decided to split up so we could do one now and then do another one later instead of doing it all in one. And we have done that before.
That is true. We've touched upon like the takeover shows when we started doing this podcast. 3 and a bit years ago. We touched upon the takeovers, and those matches were predominantly better. The show was more entertaining than the actual main show, the actual pay-per-view itself. It's odd when a takeover tops a WrestleMania. Yeah,
I mean, I remember the conversations, but about it's always like, what's the better show? And everyone's like, come on, it's Takeover. Don't be silly. But so again, it felt like it came out of nowhere, but it's fine because if one thing about takeovers is it's kind of like maybe they're not as like sometimes you'll get a great one and then you might get a good one, but you never get a bad one. I don't think, and I don't think this one is that. I think overall the matches were pretty decent, But would you say this was kind of a one match show? Like the only match that was really intriguing was the main event.
I had a little bit of intrigue with the $1 million match, but the ladder theme we'll kind of get into, but does it quite match their styles? I'm not quite sure, but I think they worked around it pretty well. But the build towards the main event, the Fatal 5-Way, could have been presented much better, I think. I think there was more scope to give, even though the wrestlers had time in the match, the build up that they had maybe a few words to say, that's about it. But Adam Cole got a brief kind of moment or brief interaction with Karrion Kross, but the whole build up was Karrion Kross going, I'll beat absolutely everyone.
Pretty much, right? Pretty much. I mean, to be fair, they've been building the hell out of him to be this he's an unstoppable monster. No one can stop him. But I said we'll get into that when we get to the main event. But yeah, I mean, again, I was really the main event was pretty much the sticking point. It's pretty much what a lot of people got. Oh, that's kind of worth checking out because it's against 5 great, probably like some of the best, probably stars in NXT, all in a main event, not just in one. We're not having one star. We've got like 4 going against Cross basically, and it was just like you knew it was going to be a great match. But so we'll get into that when we'll talk about the main event. But yeah, I mean, the ladder match I was intrigued by, but yeah, except for that, the other stuff I wasn't exactly up for because I don't know, just story wasn't really strong, and yeah, and NXT going into this is kind of being, I think they're kind of one or two of them have been kind of missable. That's really sad, but you're always going to get that with shows, right? But yeah, but the main event was the thing everyone's looking forward to. But yeah, it's gonna be. It was. But if we just go, we talk about the show in general just before we get dive into each match. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the show in general, what was your thoughts on the whole thing? Did you think it was quite a good show, or do you think if it was a dud, or do you think it was worth checking out, or did you, had some good moments, but did you enjoy it?
Had some good moments. Not so much as it comes to surprising moments. I guess the main problem I had with this takeover, maybe with the last couple of takeovers, the results have been, and it goes to the main roster as well, where the result has been inevitable. Really, there's nothing to really kind of shake up, or no surprise results. The only real kind of 50-50 again was the $1 million ladder match. That could have gone either way, but they're building up Karrion Kross to make him look like a monster. The same for Raquel González at the start of her reign. With Mercedes Martinez, she had to lose that match, otherwise that whole gimmick with Xia Li is just absolutely pointless with that presentation. The winner take all is a good concept, and we'll get into that now, I guess. I quite like the fact that they put all the titles online in one match instead of having to put an additional match on the card. That means we get a shorter show, but also we get a higher stakes matchup. So if MSK were to concede the pin, that means Bronson Reed would lose his North American Championship. Does that cause any kind of rift between those two? Those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when I first saw this concept, my first thing was this is so weeks of Triple H early 2000 kind of going. So I think I'm on my retro reviews, I'm watching up to King of the Ring when he done the exact same concept, right? In some way, they're all in a tag team match, and then whoever wins, the title's on the line, but it's like a 6-man tag, type thing.
Yeah, technically it's a multi-man match, really. With tag rules, so if your tag team partner gets the win, they win the championship. But surely you don't want your partner to win the championship, you want to win the championship.
Yeah, or to be fair, it was, yeah, but I just the whole concept was just first thing I heard was actually no. But it works because again, they built Bronson. I always get that one. Bronson Reed, yeah, Bronson Reed, yeah,
Bronson.
Yeah. Okay, so terrible. Anyway, but he's been built quite good. Again, ever since he won that North American Championship in that cage match against Johnny Gargano, they've really bigged him up as someone special's got to take this guy out because he is amazing. MSK is MSK. I mean, ever since they've been building them up since they debuted, it's been amazing. But I don't think they've had that tag team yet. That proper big tag team that put them over the edge. I think the Legado del Fantasma. The Legado del Fantasma, yeah, that's right. Is kind of that could be their team. So, and if you see that, I think that triple threat they had in last takeover, I think it was it last takeover? Yeah,
with the Grizzled Young Vets.
Yeah, that was amazing. And them two when they were facing it was amazing. So, if you look at it in concept, it was no way it couldn't fail. It would fail because you got 6 great workers in there, and you just it's going to be a great match. And to be fair, it was pretty good. I really enjoyed this opening contest. It had a lot of cool spots in it, as you expect, and it was just, it's what an opening match should be. If there was a crowd there, I think there was. I think there was a couple of
the largest crowd that the Capitol Wrestling Center has had since NXT moved there.
Yeah, I don't know if actually were real people though, because obviously I don't know, because obviously they do have people there with this crowd noise, but I think they were fans or workers. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I wish it felt like they had a crowd though, because it still felt like it didn't have a crowd at all. That sounds quite sad, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that was one of the kind of critiques kind of going around on the Twitter sphere, I guess, that the crowd were pretty much dead.
So with the crowd, it would have been nice if they were allowed to actually show they were a crowd, but it's one of those things. But as you said, this match was kind of you knew what you're going to get, but you're always going to get high quality wrestling with this match. So I liked the kind of at the start when he had this thing. It's kind of the first half of the match is kind of Escobar kind of going, oh, I want Bronson Reed, I want him. And then when he gets him in the ring, he's like, no, I'll tag him with my other guy. It's yeah, I don't want him at all. You know, I like I wouldn't say cowardice of him, but just kind of like it's all part, as way Barrett said, it's all part of his game plan. You know,
it's all tactical. I enjoyed some of the presentational aspects as well. Just going back slightly, so with Bronson Reed coming in, demonstrating that he has the weight advantage, the strength advantage. He has does the stomp, beginning of the end of his entrance, and the camera shakes, which is quite nice.
I like when they do that.
I like the masks as well that the Legado del Fantasma are wearing as well. I thought they were pretty cool. Again, Reed showing his strength, so they're trying to get in some offense. Raul Mendoza, but he just ends up just getting absolutely squashed.
I love that bit. Like, tries to suplex him, and then it's just like, oh, wait a minute, you're quite big. Boom.
Yeah, and just sits on his chest, which cannot have been comfortable for Mendoza. Escobar tries to be fairly kind of macho and try to basically do an Andre, try to body slam the Colossal, I believe it's called. But it's a complete fail, and Reed ends up landing on him and tossing Wild the Gorilla Press as well.
I mean, we did have that cool bit where it's like they both done it during the match, where they had these double team moves, really cool ones. I think it was like was it Wilder? Yeah, like poor guy. I mean, he got like was it MSK with like holding him in a position, and just like all of a sudden you got this like massive Reed just come from the top, like come over and do a senton splash straight on him. It's like, poor guy. It's not worth it, is it? And then we had this cool thing where another quick tag from both MSK and Reed, and it's kind of like then his jumped like a jumping corner splash, but I think he jumped over him. I think if I'm correct, that's again, it's just, it shows how cool moves they can do. But yeah, that was the cool stuff. But basically, this match was done really good job of making Reed look like a badass, a monster, or like kind of a guy that could basically like it takes like 3 of them to take him out. You know, it's kind of what they were trying to do here, and there were some really cool spots. Obviously, we might talk about the end one as well. That really shows this guy is massive, and you shouldn't mess with him because he's badass. So
yeah, he can also fly as well. All his fellow competitors, so on his team and on the opposite side, do their signature dives outside the ring, like a bunch of indie darlings. So we have the moonsault from Carter onto Escobar, followed by Wild. Wesley gets involved in Mendoza, and then of course that leaves Reed on his own, and he does a giant torpe suicida, mamma mia.
I mean, to be fair, we always knew he kind of could do it, but it's just like, it's like no one his size should be able to do the things he can do. Let's be honest. I mean, but then obviously at this point, Escobar, they got back into it. The whole team kind of started getting in control. We got a nice little assisted, as I said before, the MSK and Reed done it. Fantasma have done it as well, with a nice like holding him in place and hitting a 450 splash, like that was really cool. But you expect nothing less than that team because they're really badass. But again, didn't work because Bronson Reed got back into it and kind of hit like a double Samoan drop on both Wilder and Mendoza.
Which one of them? I think it was Mendoza, just kindly climbed on top of his teammate. I'm trying to save you. Oh no, yeah, it's not going to work. I'm going to get slammed here, aren't I? It's like nice try, but yeah, it's just like just shows the power of him. It's really cool. But then we had a bit where one of the most impressive parts of the match was probably when Bronson Reed was distracted by Escobar, and obviously Mendoza came from behind. I think like chopped his leg. Mm-hmm. And then the ref wasn't looking. Typical ref. You know what refs are like. Oh, we had some awful officiating. Even like later on, like I think it was the same referee we criticised last time round, but in the women's match, awful. Like, what are you doing? You're allowing this shit to continue.
And as a referee yourself, you can't stand these kind of terrible officiating.
I know. Do something about it. Control. Manage it, you know.
I got a bonus. We've got a storyline right here. Just like you turning up NXT, I'll be like confronting the refs in their room, like, mate, what is wrong with you guys? You are a disgrace to your profession, or something like another storyline. But
sorry, I couldn't throw. We're jumping ahead a bit, but sorry, I couldn't throw Dakota Kai out because we had to wait for Shotzi Blackheart to come in and make the save. Oh, okay.
True, but yeah. But again, we'll talk about that when we get to that match.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the ref's terrible. But was it Escobar hits? Was it Mechanucci? I can never say this name. It's just like
go on, you can do it.
Give me a sec. I can get this name. Give me a sec. I've prepared.
I believe in you, Stu. Go on.
Michinoku.
Almost Michinoku.
Damn, I'm so close. I even got my little thing that tells me that says it back to me. But yeah, but I always get that name on. But he hit that move, that driver, on Bronson Reed. But it's like, I think you can see they kind of set it up before, where it's just like they're trying to do it. But he finally hit it, and it's still impressive watching it back. It's still really cool that he was able to hit that. But was it Carter broke it up? But yeah, well, obviously we'll just go to the end of the match, I guess. We had a bit where basically Escobar basically lost it. I don't know why. It's basically went to looked at the North American title. He was like gone like a crazed man. He really wants it. But then but then he didn't look on his side because all of a sudden Reed tackles him into the barricade, and this barricade just breaks. I know it's like I love spots like that because it just shows how this guy is amazing. But yeah. And then we just, and kind of after that, just MSK just hit a double team. Was it Powerbomb Neckbreaker? Is it called something? I always forget.
Looks cool. And assisted Neckbreaker. That was that splash to Escobar was a little callback to a little segment they did, I believe, 2 weeks ago on NXT, where Bronson Reed splashed Santos Escobar against the Perfect Glass and the barricade, and then decided to taunt him the next week by showing that replay over and over and over again, much to the annoyance of Santos Escobar, thus leading to this match and this challenge for winner take all.
Oh, okay. I didn't, obviously, because I haven't watched NXT as much as I should. This that was being up this year. I was wondering what that was, but yeah, still cool stuff. But yeah, hit that and then we know when Reed goes to the top rope. Wade Barrett is waiting for his moment to go Tsunami. He loves that. He loves it. I love it. I got respect him for it. But yeah, he loves that spot. It's like his moment. So yeah, he hits that on was it on Mendoza? 1, 2, 3, and so no total change in this match. We still have Reed is still North American champion and MSK is still the tag champs. So in the game, this is basically what you would think. Give them 13. They gave it 13 minutes, nearly 14 minutes this match. Let them do their thing, and yeah, I think it delivered. I think it was a great opener, personally.
I thought it was good. Issue I had with it was I wanted the guy Del Fantasma to have more offense in. Again, have that more that kind of higher stakes play into the fact that again, one of them takes the opposing team takes the loss. That means they lose all their titles. So maybe cause I will stir up a little bit of tension there, so maybe get them to accidentally run into each other, that kind of thing, that kind of distract each other, I guess, or use Bronson Reed against his own teammates, that kind of thing. A couple, I think we only had one or two, but I'd like a couple more where an opportunity where it looks like the Legado del Fantasma are going to win the match, but we didn't really have it that much. They didn't really feel like a threat as much as they did when Santos Escobar was Cruiserweight champion. Yeah,
do you mean like a near falls, oh my god, they've hit that and they're going to get the win type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been timing. Might have been because they get normally they give maybe a couple more minutes, but they obviously only give them for 15-ish minutes. But I guess then they gave most of that time to the main events there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I see what you mean. You always want that moment. The best kind of matches like this where you think it's going to go one way is when you have that moment when you go, oh wait, are they really going to go this way? That what if moment that we keep talking about. But yeah, again, it's if you look at it, just the quality of just the matchup in general, it delivered. It was the perfect opener, I would say. Just what you would, if you want us to get, if you was a crowd there, you put a match like this on because it always gets people hyped up. So it's a perfect one there. So so I'm assuming it's just going to be they're going to have a continual feud, I assume, because I think he's gonna. I think if anyone's going to take a title, it's probably going to be Escobar, unless I can think of somebody else. I think they're going to get both of those titles at some point, I'm assuming. It just feels like it would make more sense because obviously he's moving up the ranks. So I would say they get it. But yeah, I can't think of anybody else. Who do you think is going to maybe take that title off the MSK or Breed?
Well, they make the brief appearance later on with Timothy Thatcher and Tommaso Ciampa. But ideally, with a team of MSK being such high flyers, you'd want a strong established heel tag team. But we've already had the Grizzled Young Vets. I think they've already tackled like Imperium a couple of times, as far as I'm aware. But that might be another route. Or they'll maybe just continue this feud.
I mean, to be fair, there's nothing wrong with it. To be fair, I mean, I think it's going really well. I think I would just like them have a one-on-one match would be nice, like a one at a takeover. I think they deserve that. I think the next takeover, I've got a feeling they're going to load that one. They're going to load that bad boy up. So it wouldn't surprise me if they do like put like these two as separate matches, maybe. Yeah. But I'm not against that. So yeah, awesome. Potentially
Gargano and Austin Theory.
Maybe, but I'm actually quite sure, not 100% sure where they're going to go with them after their feud with Dexter Lumis seems to not be a prevalent thing anymore. So I don't know, but I mean, if you love that love triangle thing, if you love that storyline.
Well, Indy Hartwell wasn't too happy about Dexter Lumis hugging it out with Poppy.
To be fair, that was funny. I love stuff when people overreact to things like that. It's like, Triple H he was just really playing it up the part. He was like, "What's going on here? This is what's like."
When's the new album coming out?
Actually, surprisingly, it's actually really good. But anyway, it's not important.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, you should. It's really good. But anyway, so obviously we had some backstage stuff. We had they did a lot of this during the show where it's just like other members of the main event kind of seeing each other. Obviously we got Kyle O'Reilly was talking, interview, and then all of a sudden you got Johnny Gargano kind of like it's not shutting up, kind of taunting him, and then Austin Theory pushed him, and then it started like a brawl. There seems to be a story of the show that set up something that happened at the end of the one. We'll talk about that. We had a lot of backstage kind of like kind of like they did with Triple H and DX last year with the whole like, I'm an old guy, it's we don't I'm just going to use a tape recorder. We don't use tape recorder anymore. We're going to use this. We don't do that anymore. And it's just like try to show that this show is old. And was it Toby? Was that Toby? Who his name is or something like that?
Tom Pettengill. Yeah.
It's like he's like, he's really old.
No, Tom or Todd, one of them. Yeah.
I think it's Todd. Might be getting right, Todd. But yeah, it's like just basically saying, yeah, mate, you don't need tape anymore. We can just play it on the truck. I mean, I do like that kind of stuff, but I think they done it better last year. But it's still kind of funny, I guess. But kind of guess when we got to Brandon, we got to about the match that kind of felt like it was added on the card because of they needed a spot, if that's fair. Is Michelle Martinez versus Xia Li. Is it Xia Li?
Xia Li, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, I was kind of confused because last time I watched NXT, it was a show, like, she kind of, like, after Martinez kind of won a match, they kind of interrupted after the match, like, intervened. So, and they did do a video package that was, might have been the reason. That if this was a story they're going, I kind of like stuff like this.
They'll call back to previous matches. 4 years ago in the Mae Young Classic, what Xia Li described as an embarrassment to her family, losing in one of the opening rounds of the Mae Young Classics to Mercedes Martinez, and since then Xia Li has had a grudge and wants to get her own back. Yeah,
I mean, am I the only one that's kind of getting Bray Wyatt vibes from that kind of thing, like a sort of like an evil, mysterious force is making you right your wrongs from your previous mistakes? I'm not, again, it's I like that stuff, but I'm just thinking, am I the only one that doesn't think this is kind of like Fiend Bray Wyatt kind of feeling? Like when it kind of like a force is making you have to, get your revenge or get back at the people that wronged you or was disrespected you. Kind of feels like that to me, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not so much of the supernatural vibes so much, I don't think. Well, it certainly is only that kind of one layer. Again, there's no kind of different persona. There's no monster and happy children's presenter. There's just all very much kind of dark Eastern being kind of martial arts master, demonic guru, I guess. Not guru, yeah.
Yes, it does remind me of that stuff if you know your comics. It's like was it Daredevil, like the Hand versus the Fist? Like the kind of Hand is this evil organization that kind of like, it does feel. I wouldn't surprise you if that's the inspiration for this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, not against it. I think it's just I feel this match, the build up anyway, on the kind of match in general. This could have been a match they could have put on like a special of NXT, and it would have been fine. But is it? The question is, maybe you might feel differently. Is it a Takeover worthy match to put on? Like, put it on Takeover?
Probably not. Again, for a card which has a very kind of predictable lineup, it's probably not best to have this match on there. Again, the result is kind of inevitable. This whole big character change for Xia Li and Boa. Xia Li has to win this match. Otherwise, she looks dumb. Boa looks dumb. Mei Ying looks dumb. But at the same time, you want to, I guess, protect Mercedes Martinez, which I guess it was the right option. But then again, there's part of me thinking, okay, because it's a short show, 2 hours 20 minutes, maybe this match is going to be some kind of competitive squash. Okay, maybe they're really going down that route if they really want to push Xia Li.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just I don't want to really go on because I like Xia Li. I've kind of liked her before. Like I liked her ability in the ring. I've always been kind of calling, wanting her to be like given opportunities. So I can't really complain when they actually do. I'm like, does she deserve it? It's like they have built a story up quite nicely. But yeah, I think I just feel this match needed something else to like really gravitate it towards like a match that you wanted to really wanted to see. But again, it's like in the match in general. I mean, it wasn't a bad match. It was a pretty decent match, you would think. Had some cool stuff in it. I mean, you got early on, you got Xia Li kind of just working on kind of Mercedes Martinez's whips. Like kind of, I don't know if that's probably a storyline they worked on it in the build up probably.
Yeah, the week before they did. Yeah.
Yeah, it explains. I had a feeling, but yeah. So obviously, we had this thing, nice little probably like picture for the kind of you would want. It's kind of like tying up. Was it Martinez in between the ropes, like for like trying 5 counts? Really cool little picture moment. That's really cool. Or the bit when they're kind of stretching her on the post at the bottom of the post, kind of working on kind of back or the ribs and that kind of stuff. But yeah, again, it had all the hallmarks and some cool stuff. It did have some really cool moments in it.
What I quite liked was fairly old school, again, fitting to the theme of in your house. The ring posts have returned, the classic steel ring posts, not the ones with the LED lights on them.
No, they actually hurt when, well, the pretense of hurting.
Yes. Xia Li goes for a kick. Mercedes Martinez is able to dodge it. As a result, Xia Li manages to kick the ring post, injuring her leg, which plays a factor into the match.
Yeah, I mean, the other stuff you had in there as well was obviously you had cool suplexes as well. You had Martinez hit like a double underhook kind of suplex. It looked really cool, and then I think Xia Li hit like this something similar, a similar kind of move. I think it was like it's like hooked the arm like you were like a pump handle, but just chucked her across the ring. It was a really cool move, but yeah, wouldn't it be a matter of time before Boa? Is it Boa? Yeah. Got into the match after Martinez hit like a jumping knee on Xia Li. But then obviously Xia Li got back into it and she kind of went out to the outside and charged Martinez, but she gave her like a back body drop onto the floor. Looked really cool. But yeah, the kind of finish was basically was it Martinez go for that airway crash slam, but Xia Li countered it and then sent her into the ropes, and then when she came back, boom, hit that spinning kick that she's kind of been pushing, kind of a finisher, got the pin, got the win, and yeah, it was, if you want to say like she's still undefeated, so it's technically still worked, but yeah, it was like 7-8 minute match, maybe it needed a bit more time, but I think it was, yeah, maybe it's not standout, but it was a solid, consistently good match. So
I thought it was going to be I expected it to be a short match. I think just the substance. I think there's not too much like to it. I didn't see Mercedes Martinez winning this match. She did get a little bit of payback though. Boa comes in with the chair, and they try to beat down Mercedes even more. Really try to get that revenge, get that last laugh. But Mercedes is able to pick up the chair and deliver chair shots to both Boa and Xia Li before facing off with Mei Ying. I quite like that dynamic where Mei Ying's is kind of like this sort of supernatural-esque force. And Mercedes Martinez just stares her up and go, "Okay, let's go, bitch." You know?
I mean, I gotta be honest. That wide shot though. I mean, when they went back and you can see them, facing off.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could build that up like that, I don't want to say that word "this match is money," but I would, if they built that up quite nicely, that could be a cool match to watch. Mm-hmm. Because Mercedes Martinez, like after she kind of lost that triple threat or against or that second chance against González, like for the title, it's like what is she really doing? So I like the idea of this face-off or that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, again, it was really cool. I mean, you got a bit where she approached her, then obviously typical. I don't know who done this, like the choke, like the kind of choke or the kind of like grab of her neck. That I like the way she sold that brilliantly, on the neck, and then obviously Martinez got the chair, just about whacked on the leg, just to try and get out, and just about to whack her with the chair again, and then boom, got the choke again, and then I was thinking they were going to do what they just did a minute ago with the barrier, but in the other match where they chucked her and the barrier fell down. But I guess in that spot would really be really dangerous. So, but what he did is chucked her. She went over, kind of chucked her into the kind of barrier, like the plexiglass type thing, and then she went down into the corner of the stage. And then the end of it, just with all three of the stable, like kind of looking down, looking very happy with their work. So you could, I thought to myself when I saw this, it's like maybe the match wasn't takeover worthy, but the reveal, the spot at the ending, kind of is, because it's just like a kind of I'm sure that's the first time she's ever attacked anyone, or first time she's ever done that kind of stuff to anyone.
As far as I'm aware, that's the first time. Yes, we've seen Mei Ying in action. But
again, this is a storyline that's got potential. I'm intrigued by it. If they're going for the old righting her wrongs and kind of this mysterious force is helping her do that, I'd like that, because obviously, she got her ass handed to her at the end segment, kind of, but she still won the match, so technically she got her revenge. Technically.
Yeah, it also has like Fiend vibes, with Fiend going after people who had wronged him in the past. So John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, those kind of characters. So keep that narrative. You want to, obviously, before you progress to become a champion, you want to face your demons, right those wrongs. So fine, that's a fair enough, decent angle. Are they going to do it with every single match she's lost? Maybe. It'd be a very slow build.
I mean, I actually, maybe it's just don't know. I just don't know all her losses. I mean, I didn't even know about that one until they showed it. So maybe it'd be intriguing. But if they go by that kind of writing, kind of like make all that's wrong, so I'm up for it. Because again, it's like it works with Bray Wyatt. It was just that they completely botched the entire story of it, so it didn't work. But if they don't mess this up, I don't think they will, because NXT normally don't. It should be. I'm intrigued. It might not be a thing for everyone, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it goes, man. It might be interesting. Might be something cool.
Yeah. What was cool as well was the return. Little segue there. The $1 Million Championship.
Yes.
Being competed in a surprise stipulation of a ladder match. Oh, I like a good ladder match, as much as any wrestling fan. But the problem I had was, again, I love the $1 Million Championship, that kind of ideal. Who's going to carry that kind of lineage and that prestige of the title and $1 Million Man's legacy? Cameron Grimes, okay. With the ladder match, he was part of that fantastic North American Championship ladder match.
The 5-way, right?
Yeah, the 5 was that. I can't remember if that was Vengeance Day 30 or 31.
I'm going 31, but it was great ladder match.
Yeah, correct ladder match. As for LA Knight, I don't know if he has ladder match experience or not. I'm guessing just by watching it that he's not prolific for having ladder matches, I guess. But giving both these guys credit, I think they worked within their skill set, and they used that old Jericho and Michaels kind of story, kind of mythology of using it's not just an item to retrieve the title, it's the ladder is a weapon. And you've got the likes of LA Knight kind of like first things first, just try to throw the ladder like at each other and onto each other, like have very near misses. The sound of the ladder hitting the barricades, hitting the floor, really saying that this ladder is fairly hefty. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt if it lands on you.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of that though. I think every ladder, not just a hit in the NXT or like the AW or maybe Raw, like on main roster. It's like no one's just like just hitting people with ladders anymore. They're throwing at them now. It's like that's cool to see, but like come on, man, like don't be that guy. But but yeah, there were some creative spots here. Got to be honest. I think there was a bit where. There was a bit like I think there's a thing going for the whole match where LA Knight kept setting up these ladders through the the outside. I think we bridged. I think one time he did bridged it one between the apron and the kind of barricade. On my notes, I put someone's going through that ladder.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen there, right? And then he had one where he put one on the side as well. Then he had one when it kind of like he's on tinted in the front, like on the other side. And I kind of like through the match, it's just like he went through every ladder he set up. he went through. Was it Cameron Grimes chucked him into the one in the corner? He done a back body drop onto him on the side, and then obviously I think he suplexed him onto the one on the barricade in the apron. But basically, he's got to stop setting up ladders because he's not got his opposition's not going for him.
Guess that's the inexperience in another match. Taking its toll, I guess.
Yeah, but I just like that. It's just like I guess you probably noticed it well. It's just like he set them all up and he went through every single one. But I mean, we did get that nasty one. I think that he hit that net breaker on Cameron Grimes, where it's like on that was it the ladder was like on his side and it's just net breaker on it. It looked horrible, like in a sort of like a really uncomfortable way. Not like it was. It was a good move, but yeah, it's like that's a bump that's gonna hurt in the morning. That's gonna hurt, right?
We almost had another scary bump. Accidentally with Cameron Grimes almost killing Beth Phoenix.
Oh yes, she screamed. I like that.
Oh my god! Like speaking of Beth Phoenix, we got the $1 million belt there made of diamonds and the 24-karat gold. Looking at Beth Phoenix's tuxedo, just gold, like compared to everyone else. Like my god, you got
to applaud that. She's fair like
dudes.
Yeah. You gotta be like, you guys did this, I'm going up there, and she's copping up. A suit game is good, she's a very good suit game there. But I found that funny. I think like was it Fold pushed him off? Was it the ladder or something? And she was like, because it's like you would be, wouldn't you? Like all these ladders flying around. But obviously. But then it kind of got to a bit where Cameron Grimes was basically at this point like I think he got later on in the match he got in control, and he said he was in the ring and he was like all these ladders around. He's like, no. I want the golden ladder, the one with the dollar signs on it. I want that ladder. So we kind of goes that sets that up. They both climb up to it, both fight as you expect. But you did do that kind of spot with it, like when he pushed him, like when he pushed it down, looked really was kind of horrible. But well, kind of you could say that the match ended with kind of the bit with like what was it? LA Knight kind of setting up a ladder on the stage and then bridging a ladder in between, kind of thing. When I was watching that, I was kind of thought it'd be funny if they set that up and never used it.
That's one of my pet peeves. You set something up, especially a table, and you don't go through it, and it's not referenced. Like, what the fuck was the point of setting it up? I know. I give them credit though. They did when you saw something they set up, they did use it. That I kind of liked. But we obviously kind of set that up, and I think it was a situation where what was it? Was we had Grimes teasing? Was it climbing the golden ladder? Because it was still there, and then obviously we have what was it? Knight kind of grabbing Grimes, trying to tease a power bomb, but then kind of counter it into a nice head scissors. So Knight's out of the ring. Knight is out of the ring, and it could have gone really badly. Like his head kind of clipped the bottom rope. It's like, you're gonna get horrible. Like, it looked horrible. It's like that could have gone very badly. That's the thing with ladder matches. They are dangerous, man. Even going for them. Even like ropes, that wasn't even doing the ladder. It was just slipping under the rope. His face just caught the bottom rope as he was going underneath. It's like you could have got some serious like whiplash there or some kind of concussion, whatever. It's very similar to what happened to Enzo Amore a couple of years ago. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's like, oh god. That could have been very nasty.
Yeah, but I hope he's okay. I haven't seen anything that he's got any concussion or anything.
No,
so.
I think it was a near miss, but we had a few near misses in this match.
But obviously after that, got Grimes climbing to the top of that. It looks like he was going to win the. Well, yes, it's a briefcase. I forgot to mention it. Obviously, they had the $1 million title inside a briefcase, or like a one we can see. But and obviously then you just got this. It's probably like the cool. I like endings like this with cool bumps that actually matter. Where it's like you just got, was it LA Knight came in lifting up the ladder, and my God, I was talking about that. I mean, his back's buggered, by the way. It's screwed. Yeah. I mean, you got one where he's got like a side of a ladder going on his back, and then he's got a bump where he's got to fall off a ladder, go onto a back of a ladder that's bridged on another ladder, and I mean it was a big bump, and he took it like a champ. But like so then he's at unless they're doing that kind of ladder match, he's out. Right, he's out, and then obviously just the rest was history. LA Knight setting up ladder, climbing up. Getting the briefcase with the $1 million title, and so he is the new $1 million champion. And he had a nice celebration at the end where I think I found it kind of funny that he was so excited he slipped on the ropes. So like trying to go on the apron, it's kind of trying to go on the top rope. That was kind of a bit funny, but I thought Grimes was going to win it because it feels like that's where they were going to go, but I can see why they went here because everyone knows about any title. It's all about the chase, never about the winning it. So he's going to win that at some point. But I mean, one thing I need to mention, I've only asked, what are your thoughts of bringing back the $1 million championship anyway? Are you like a fan of it, or do you think why?
It's a fun little bit of nostalgia, and I guess it fits the theme with of in your house. I guess the very kind of retro. Is it just going to be kind of like a King of the Ring thing where they kind of keep the crown for however, and they just keep the title and they don't lose it? It's kind of like, well, did Ted DiBiase, did he defend like the $1 million championship? I don't think he ever did. It was just always his, wasn't he?
I think so. I don't think so. I've got to be honest, I never really like looked up like the kind of history of it. One thing I think I remember watching a video about it. It was kind of funny that they made that title like sound like it's like this amazing thing. And it is, because it's historic. But if you actually look at the people that holded it, it's actually not elevated anyone except for obviously the $1 million Ted DiBiase himself. But it's like, I think Virgil had it. That didn't go anywhere. Then obviously when he brought it back with his son, that didn't work. Someone rightly said it. Yeah, so it didn't even work for Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that tells you something. But I mean, to be fair, they make it work. But I just love the way they build this title up. It's like, it's a statement of hard work, and I was like, no, it's not. It hasn't actually elevated anyone. But if anyone's going to take it, I think LA Knight would be a good pick because he has got the arrogant and the arrogance of him, and a cockiness that a man could hate, like a fan could hate, that makes Cameron Grimes a good kind of candidate to take that title off him at some point. But one thing I need to kind of mention that all of a sudden not Ted DiBiase, Cameron Grimes has gone from a guy that's basically like an arrogant kind of comic heel to all of a sudden being a babyface.
Very odd dynamic. When they set this up, like, okay, it's two people who are like fighting for the attention of another heel. I guess it's whoever's the most popular. I guess, but everyone was very much behind Cameron Grimes. They were chanting "LA sucks" and "to the moon," very much in support of Cameron Grimes. I mean, you cheer because he's very entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, the whole segment's been great. I mean, like the old was it Ted DiBiase? The way he says it, it's just so cool. It's so funny. But one thing I was thinking about is like, if we can get this right, could this be the first time a billionaire or a millionaire or like a person that's got a lot of money is the face? Because it's hard to make them faces because obviously they've got all the money and no one likes people that have a lot of money like that. So could it be a cool situation where we do where it's like he loses when he's got the money, but when he won when he had no money. So like have a situation where he realised that the money he doesn't need the money to succeed, and it's like he starts giving the money away and be that kind of millionaire, and then do that.
Well, he was splashing the cash kind of anywhere on houses and watches and all sorts. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that. Maybe LA Knight can get really kind of pissed off about that. It's like, no, what are you doing giving your money away to these marks and continuing that. So maybe even having like another kind of winner take all situation where LA Knight's money and championships and Cameron Grimes' money. So I guess I'm not quite sure how much money Cameron Grimes has or the $1 Million Man has, but let's say it's so much that it's such a winner take all situation that it becomes the first man to become the $1 billion man. That kind of thing, or the multi-million dollar man.
He's so rich. With like so rich, he's like gets so much money. I mean, to be fair, if we did that'd be similar to the thing they did with Adam Page and Matt Hardy with the whole whoever wins gets 6, like, you know, their 6 months money they earn goes to the other guy. But again, they didn't use that to that full potential. But if they did it with this, it would really work, because I think Cameron Grimes could really like be that annoying guy that goes in LA Knight's face. That's like, yeah, look, I've got your money, mate, and I'm gonna waste it on everything. You know. Yeah,
that helps build all the kind of Cameron Grimes babyface. So if they did have that other match, LA Knight wins. Something else is on the line. Cameron Grimes' house, his car, maybe even the services of Cameron Grimes. And eventually Cameron Grimes, he becomes facing that because of, I guess, kind of empathy. He's lost a man who's lost everything when he had everything, and as you touched on the point that maybe he again doesn't need money. You know, when he's got the love of the fans, that kind of thing.
I mean, it works. I mean, to be fair, it'd just be a nice twist on it, because we've all done the whole like the guy's got money, he's bad guy. It'd be a nice little different twist that the bad guy, a guy that has all the money can be nice guy. He doesn't have to be a complete dick, you know. I think Cameron Grimes can put it off because he is so sympathetic, because he's like people just love his character because he's so committed to it, and it's just so damn entertaining. So I don't know where to go with it, but just like it started off as a feud, they've just stuck together. But now the LA Knight thing, winning it doesst bother me if it turns into something really cool. You know, like, because Cameron Grimes, I think, has got potential as like a $1 million face that would be really fun to see. So, yeah, but match overall, good ladder match. I think it was really fun. Had the spots you expect in a ladder match, but yeah, I think good placing on the card. Could say maybe a little bit more time, but good pacing, good things like getting nearly like 20 minutes or something, or like 19 minutes. Yeah. You know, good stuff. I enjoyed it. I mean, I guess it's good ladder match.
Yeah. I'd quite like to have seen Cameron Grimes take some kind of consolation prize, and maybe even try and take the golden ladder. I've got this. You
know that if they did that, that'd be on like WWE.com. It's like he's like, no, I'm taking that ladder. You know, I'm going to sell this. I'm going to sell this ladder.
Yep.
But I've got to be honest. I have to watch NXT this week because I'm intrigued. Intrigued me now. So I'll be interested to see where they go with. But yeah, as I said, fun match, good stuff. But just quickly go over stuff before we will probably take a little ad break. Just a little thing before we get into the last 2 matches. Yeah, we've got 2 matches left. Yeah, last 2 matches. Another one with those backstage stuff with Todd or whatever his name is. Kind of doing the merchandise stuff, and then was it Hit Row have turned up trying to busy sell their merch, their new single that's come out. It's I gotta be honest, they're a group that I think if they push, has got a good shout. Hit Row. I think they've got good chemistry that could be really fun to watch.
I've not really seen much of them. I've seen them about, and I think I saw like a backstage segment, like maybe their first one. But I don't think we've seen them in the ring yet. But I'm yet to have an opinion on Hit Row as of yet. We had another continuing on the main event, the tension and the scuffle there. We had Pete Dunne going face to face with Karrion Kross. Poor Regal has to come in. It's basically like kids. William Regal's like a single dad who's got 5 kids. It's like, no, stop picking on your brother. No, leave him alone. Stop whining you. And it's just
and just when you think you sorted it, another fight abused. It turns up and it's like. It's just, to be fair, what we get to talk about it, he did look, when we saw that end segment, he did look like a man like, oh, for God's sake, stop doing this to me, man. I've had a tough day, and then you get a camera in my face. Go away. But yeah, so we had that. So so as I said, we'll have a quick little break, from a little further like our sponsor, and then we'll be back to talk about the NXT Women's Championship match between González and Ember Moon. So that should be fun. So we're back in a bit.
Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's Podgo at podgo.co. And be sure to add our podcast, the Josh and Stu Wrestling Podcast, in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of your application.
So we're back. Yes, if you want to find out about the the sponsorship we just heard, just go a copy of it linked below. So check that out. So as promised, so obviously next match we're going to talk about is the NXT Women's Championship match between Raquel González and Ember Moon. I got to be honest, because I haven't watched NXT a lot, I'm a bit confused how this kind of started. If I'm gonna guess here, maybe if you know, is it something to do with them that rivalry they have for the tag titles, and it's still kind of gone, boiled over into this kind of championship match? Is that kind of what's happened?
Yes, that's right. So, obviously we had Raquel González and Dakota Kai were tag team champions, and then Moon and Shotzi became champions after that. They didn't take too kindly to it. They started feuding. González and Kai beat down Ember Moon. And as Moon was in the ring, Raquel González picked up Shotzi Blackheart and just started throwing her around on the outside, smashing her into the ring post, smashing her into the barricade. So she's written out. Kayfabe become injured. I'm not quite sure whether she was actually injured or not, or whether it was just a way to tie in this kind of singles match between the two. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to. And I think Ember Moon, if Ember Moon made a challenge, I'm not quite sure, but ultimately, it was ultimately because of Raquel González using her strength to injure Ember Moon's friend and tag team partner Shotzi Blackheart.
Okay, so that was actually a pretty impressive guess by me then. Kind of good guess.
Yeah.
I thought that was, but then again, it's like they kind of did in the promo kind of build up. It's like this is the first. I think Wade Barrett said this is the first time she's had a championship match in a long time, like a world title match. I think they're kind of implying how she still got it. I think that's what they were trying to imply. Mm-hmm. So they had that kind of thing. Can she still deliver on the main stage? I think that was also there as well. Because I think it's her first championship NXT one since she's returned.
Apart from the tag titles, briefly, she wanted to be the next Asuka or kind of Charlotte Flair, and she started off that legacy when she won that. I think it was a Fatal 4-Way match at a Takeover to become the new title after Asuka vacated it, and then Shayna Baszler came along and then dominated from there.
That's what Shayna Baszler normally does. Turns up in a division, dominates, has a title for nearly a year. That's what she normally does, but let's not get into that. That's just a bit of pill to swallow. But I kind of like that kind of stuff. They kind of try and not just be you took out my friend. It was more about you've got a title match. Can you still go? Can you still go in this kind of environment? Because it has been a while. So. Mm-hmm. But in the match in general, it's like, she did. You could sit there and say, she did deliver, because she done there was some really cool spots in there, man. Really cool stuff.
Yeah, we had Moon attacking out of the gate pretty early, try to control the pace of the match. She's known for her athletic ability and her agility, so she wants to make sure the match is at a fairly high, intense, and quick pace, rather than Raquel having that kind of slow, grounded, strength dominated kind of tactic, especially with her size. She tries to quicken the pace, and Moonbit is knocked down. There is a chokeslam powerbomb fairly early on. We have Dakota Kai, who is on the outside, and she's a constant distraction throughout the match.
As you stated earlier on, with the whole like the ref, like not once, not twice. I think it was like three times that she just like got involved in the match. I think it was like one time. I think it was when Ember Moon was on the outside. The second time when she was at the top rope. I think going for the Eclipse. And then the third time was when she did hit the Eclipse, and then she put her foot on the bottom rope. You know, but yeah, it's like I never got that in wrestling. It's always a weird thing. It's like if someone's on the outside, they're probably going to get involved. You know, so why don't you just tell them to go, like nip that in the bud? But it doesn't work for the story. But I see what story they're going on here. That I think they're going to do if they want to do like a Dakota Kai turns on her, is that you can't win this, you can't defend this title without me, type thing. And I think with that kind of stuff, it kind of, that's why I was feeling they would go, you know. But yeah, it was annoying, but that's the point. She's the heel, so makes perfect sense. But yeah, obviously, as I said before, they had this. I don't know if you mentioned it, like kind of this. I think early on, like was it Ember Moon was on the floor, and was it in the corner? And I think it's like she kind of whipped her from the corner into like literally into like an impressive sidewalk slam. I don't know if I described it properly. It kind of like just the transition was really solid and really good. But then obviously she hit this like, was it twisted backlash kind of off the middle rope?
Twisting, I believe they said twisting Vader bomb, and it's very very rare we see Raquel González dive off the, I believe it's the middle rope or top rope or any kind of aerial offense. We don't see her do that much. They were really trying to push that Raquel González was the most improved wrestler of the year, and it shows.
Yeah, you can see definitely like some of the matches early on. Especially, and I think normally it used to be some matches it felt like she was being carried. In this case, it didn't feel like that. I think she's definitely improved. But kind of the story, as you probably point out, is basically every time Ember Moon tried anything on González, every time she got some momentum, González just used the power just to, or just took her out. So, but Ember Moon did get into the match at some point when obviously she hit a nice super kick on González, and then hit a kind of good cold red that seems to be the go-to move these days. But it still looks cool wherever you go for it. And then obviously done this submission move where it's like kind of like wrapped her, tied up her legs from the back and then kind of pulling on her hair, kind of thing.
It was kind of like a double. It was kind of like a clover leaf with a double kind of chin lock. Raquel is clearly struggling, but of course Kai is there to lend a helping hand. At this point here, the referee would surely go, "Okay, enough of your shenanigans. You can bugger off now."
Nope.
But no, she gets away with it again because of a certain spot which is going to come up.
But it didn't work though, because obviously Ember Moon was just basically like, oh, okay, and then she just done what she's using her pace and her high flying ability to kind of get the advantage. Done a nice like suicide dive onto González, sent it over the announce table. Poor announce table. That's going to be used a lot in this match and the next one. Then she brought her in to hit a nice flatliner on her to get the 2. Ember Moon goes to the top, probably going to go for the Eclipse as we said earlier. But what a shocker! Dakota Kai again. Like we're not talking about like seconds. We're talking about like a minute. She's done it again. Yeah. It's like, ref, come on, use your eyes. She's obviously doing something. But the distraction was enough to get González back into the match, and she hit a nice superplex on the top. She tried to go for her kind of one-handed kind of power bomb. She does, but a nice little counter by Ember Moon, done like a nice little like a counter of it in a nice roll up for 2. But then obviously González, just as I would probably love it when people do this, is just when you get more momentum. How do you cut momentum? A big boot to the face. Always works every time. That is the ultimate momentum killer. A big boot to the face.
Absolutely, that's going to stop you in your tracks. Raquel then sets up for a kind of elevated suplex, very similar to what Bobby Lashley does. Ember Moon is able to escape it with a modified Eclipse, followed by a code breaker into another Eclipse. And surely you think this is the end of the match, but oh no, what a surprise! Dakota Kai's there again with the foot on the rope, and as we've had enough, as the fans have had enough, Shotzi Blackheart has also had enough and emerges from backstage, chasing Dakota Kai all the way up to the stage with a fairly comical tumble into some of the plant pots, which are on the stage.
I mean, to be fair though, did you think when you like Dakota Kai is like, she seems like she was running a little bit slower to make sure she can catch her, like.
Yeah,
I know that's probably obvious, but it's just when they do that. But it's just like it felt very obvious this time. It's like she was kind of slowing down to make sure she got caught.
Yeah. So if you're gonna leg it, you know.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, man, come on. I mean, it's probably Stu that. The funny thing is that I'm sure that part where Reed kind of chucked Escobar through that barricade is still open. Run through there.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fantastic continuity. That'd be great.
But they just don't think like that, do they? Sometimes they just don't.
No.
But yeah, so that she's out of the match, so that's it. Yeah, but obviously, kind of ended the match. Kind of ended. Ember Moon went to top, trying to go for the Eclipse again. We had another great example of Gonzalez's power, where she got a quarter in midair, and then kind of I think she went for top rope and then kind of transitioned into basically, and then she just hit a one-armed finisher, one-armed powerbomb, and got the win. Basically, I probably missed out a transition into that, but yeah, it's basically what it was. Basically, even with the distraction without Dakota Kai, she could still get the win. And 13-minute match. Could have probably gave another 2 or 3 minutes, but again, it might not be like a match of the year countdown. It might not be a match that everyone goes back to. But if the point was to make Gonzalez look good or try and enhance that storyline between Dakota Kai maybe turning on Gonzalez at some point, it kind of worked.
Yeah, exactly. It does. Well, Dakota Kai's disappeared. If anything, like Shotzi Blackheart, I guess, helped Raquel Gonzalez to a point there. Raquel Gonzalez, without Dakota Kai there, is able to hit that the Snake Eyes and the one-handed chokeslam powerbomb. Not quite sure what exactly it's called. But yeah, absolutely. I think maybe a couple more matches like that. And then either Raquel starts sussing or people just point out that you do as you're winning all by yourself. You don't need Dakota Kai by your side. And that's when we have the little heel turn or the friendship turn between those two.
Yeah, because there are moments during interviews you can see Dakota Kai's like speaking more than Gonzalez is. So like she's getting she's bigging her up more than she needs to sometimes. So it wouldn't surprise me if you said might have a situation where there's a big match against someone and she goes, I don't need your help and I don't want you out there with me, and that could be the catalyst to turn. I hope it goes somewhere, because it's like it was ever since Dakota Kai and Gonzalez became a team, it was kind of what we all thought we would go eventually, you know. Mm-hmm. So I hope they go there, because again, they're always fun stories to do, you know. So and I think and it would be nice to see Dakota Kai get back onto the kind of main stage, you know, because he's kind of has been on the background recently. Intentionally, I don't know, but it would be nice to see her get more of a high profile feud. That would be nice.
That would be good.
So obviously again, I'm assuming that match will happen again, or they have maybe Blackheart might get a shot at the title. Wouldn't be a bad idea. So maybe, but I've got a feeling that feud's going to run on for maybe next couple, maybe possibly like a special, if they like a new special they might do. Or they have got the Great American Bash.
Well, they've got the Great American Bash is coming up.
If it was anything like last year's one, then we're going to be into some. It's going to be a treat, right? It's going to be good. They usually that was quite good last year. Obviously, it's the one when Keith Lee won the double titles. So I'm intrigued to see if that I'm intrigued to see if that'd be a good show. But anyway, yeah. So maybe that might transition into maybe a fatal 4-way. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, or Shotzi gets a shot at the title.
Possibly. Maybe a triple threat match.
Yeah,
something like that.
Or maybe put the tension. I'm thinking fatal 4-way, because you can put Dakota Kai in there, and then it could be like a tease that way, we're friends, but I really want that title. That could tease a breakup, maybe maybe that way as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm just kind of guess. It's just a guesswork here, so I don't know where to go. But yeah, I just hope, as you said, I hope they keep that stuff up with the whole teasing of them breaking up, because if they do that when they do break up, it's going to be a massive pop, because hopefully by that point there'll be fans. So. Let's hope.
Hopefully.
But so that's a good match. I think it was good. So before we get to the main event, we obviously had more backstage shenanigans with that Todd character. You know, he's not happy that people are saying, oh, he's old. So You know, he's not happy.
It's not that old.
I know, but they were like kind of. I know, but it's basically what they were saying. Mate, you passed your time, mate. You're too old. It's kind of what they were saying. It's not that old though, but it kind of worked. I said it worked better last year because Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and all that with the computer thing. That gag worked because it's like, Shawn Michaels has trouble with computers all of his career. He doesn't know how to use them. But it kind of worked. But then obviously, you know, got a bit where they're playing, I think it's called a Karate Fighter, an old 90s game, with Dexter Lumis. That I don't know how he convinced him to play that, but, you know, maybe he's got a nice guy. And asked him, so you got women troubles, eh? And he wasn't happy with that comment. broke the toy, or broke his one, like, toy. And it's like, okay, you win then. And then walks off. It's like, mate, you don't talk about... He's got some serious, you know... love issues at the moment, so don't talk about it. So but yeah, and then obviously I mentioned it before the start of the main event, when Johnny Gargano was coming out, you got another backstage brawl. Was it further the show?
There we go.
It's like with I got to be honest, I like continuity like that, because it's like it's brawls everywhere, even when there's entrances. It's like you can't break them up. And Johnny Gargano's like slowly walking up, like, okay, I'm going to slowly get away from this. And I love the way he closed the door as well. It's like, I don't want any part of this, you know.
It all ties in, which is very nice.
I like stuff like that. But spin it up. So yeah, as always, this is going to be a doozy to try and review. We're into the main event, the Fatal 5-Way match for the NXT Championship with Karrion Kross going against Adam Cole, Bebe. Of course, it's legal, you have to say it. Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano, and Kyle O'Reilly. You could sit there saying probably the 4 best wrestlers in like NXT in general going against Kross. And I liked the kind of graphic where it was obvious. It wasn't like it was an equal thing. It was like Kross at the top with all 4 guys at the bottom. Like it's all against him. That I kind of like, you know.
Yeah, even though they could pin anyone or submit anyone, they ultimately have to beat Kross, or they're going to have to try and dispatch off Kross in order to take his title off him. I quite liked I hope they keep to this. It's another premise which I quite enjoyed, the press conference before the show. I'm not quite sure whether they had like an actual pre-show and the kind of warm-up match, but the press conference I enjoyed. Certain questions and topics kind of came up, especially with Karrion Kross. Very, very kind of honest, which was great. He wasn't very much like, I will destroy all, I'm the best, that kind of thing, as you might expect. But he's aware of the risks of that match again. Don't have to be pinned or submitted, involved in the finish and you can lose your title that way. And he was mentioning that he believes that Kyle O'Reilly is the biggest threat to him, specifically in this match, which Adam Cole didn't like too much, especially with a comment he made which tied into the finish. His biggest worry is O'Reilly making Cole tap out, which I quite like. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, I mean, there has been rumours that, obviously we'll go into back to bit, but just go on like rumours that the big, I think Las Vegas, or the next big like takeover, not the Great American Bash, but I think the one near with SummerSlam, I think there's going to be a one where the big kind of match that maybe Kross is going to lose that title is to Kyle O'Reilly. That match that I would not be against, but maybe that's what that was trying to tease, and especially, or maybe set up maybe a other match between O'Reilly and Cole at the Great American Bash, and then Cole can finally go to the main roster, because I got to be honest, if he's not in this feud, what is he doing? So
if he's not in the Undisputed Era, for sure.
It's kind of like they kind of. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it feels like they can put him in this match because it's like, we have to do something with him. He's Adam Cole, so. Yeah. But So it was good. Hope they do more of that, because obviously it just makes it more the sport. Like, it's what I think they've nicked that from New Japan. 'Cause New Japan do it all the time. That makes their show a bit more legit.
And speaking with sport as well, there's a little tie-in to other things going on around the world as well. It's a phrase which I bloody hated when it was around 3 years ago, as Dunn was making his entrance. Wade Barrett was apparently talking to him before the match, And the only thing that Pete Dunne said was, "It's coming home." They were pretty much referring to that the title is coming home to him, but obviously it's to show support to the England football team during the Euro 2020. Of course, I do support England football team. I'm not a big football fan, but I will support their campaign. I wish them all the best. I hope they win. But the whole thing with the World Cup, it's coming home when you just got out of the group stage. No, it's not coming home. It's not coming home until it's coming home. Stop saying it.
I know. I gotta be honest. I know. To be fair, if you go by the definition, technically it is home because most of the home games are in England, so technically the definition works. But if you go by that definition, but yeah, I get it. I always feel awkward and kind of cringeworthy when they kind of bring up other sports in wrestling. It's when they start going like, I think JBL used to do a lot when it's like, oh, he must be happy because he was English. Like, oh, his team won the football, or just won the football. And I'm like, no, you don't know what that is. Don't act like you know what that is. It's kind of, I know they want to show like they're like, aware of events outside the company, but it always feels awkward to me. But yeah, they got that. I have to admit when he came down, why is he wearing all white? And it's like, oh, right, England reference. Okay, whatever. It's cool. He's English. Makes sense.
Yeah. There were a few other attire references as well. Not Shawn Michaels, Johnny Gargano was dressed as Shawn Michaels, and the rest of the way were dressed as members of the Clique, including the dog who was dressed as Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
There's no way in hell that Triple H will allow that if he didn't find that kind of funny. But
you could say he's barking mad.
No. Didn't, yeah, got the joke in. Anyway, but yeah, so it was some cool attire. One little thing I noticed beforehand is like with I always wonder when you do Adam Cole music, I was wondering where does the, when they say Adam Cole Bay work bit. When he had the unsanctioned match, I was like he didn't really use it, but in this match he done it, and it's like, oh, now I get it. What part of the song he's going to be using it, so it kind of works. So I don't know. It's more for me than anybody else. It's just like I was like, oh, now I get why that music could work for his kind of Adam Cole baby, But it's not important. But anyway, but at the start of the match we had everyone was in the ring, and I like this kind of image that they kind of put in the graphic I talked about with a minute ago. But it's like all four of the men on each side of the corners of the ring, and you got Cross in the middle, and it's just that image was just like it's. I know they say sometimes promos, but like imagery like that is. That's what the match was, pretty much. Everyone trying to take out, trying to take out Cross, and it wasn't working.
No, trying to do it their own way as well. So they kind of took each other out. So Kyle O'Reilly went after Adam Cole. Obviously, they have history. Pete Dunne, Johnny Gargano. They've had matches in the past. United Kingdom Championship, for one thing. They all had a fair crack 1-on-1 with Cross.
Didn't work.
Didn't work. They tried kicking him and tried to work on that leg, that kind of same area. But every time Cross would just take them to basically his own version of Suplex City.
Yeah, I think in my notes I put Suplex City, bitch. That's basically what happened. A lot of suplex there. If I had more patience and probably more time, I probably would have counted them all. But again, I don't have the patience all the time, so some probably did. But there was a bit during that. Cole was the last person he went against, but there was bits during the matches where he kept thieving other people's pins. That kind of I like the sneakiness of it. But there was a bit early on when it's like he fell into the apron and it kind of all three of the men trapped him, and then kind of starting punching him and kicking him and stuff because like we don't like you, Adam Cole. We just don't want because someone rightly said he snuck his way into this match.
Yep.
So nobody wants. It's like the old thing. Nobody wants you here. And but then Cross, and then it was just like Then obviously got Cross was back in the ring, and it's just like and it was just as you expect, all five of the people in the ring just fighting basically. We've got Cross hitting a nice double suplex. I think on Gargano and Pete Dunne. I think so many people in this match. It's hard to keep up. And and then obviously we did get the bit where I think Kyle O'Reilly kicked. I think. Came Cross in the back of the head or kicked him, and he was out for a bit. And then, as you expect, this kind of match was a situation where when Cross is out, everyone just went crazy and just went full on spot mode. That's kind of what it felt to me. I mean, as just to point out, we can't do all the spots because there was so many.
Oh god, there's a lot of spots.
26 minutes of just a spot fest. I mean, I love it, but as a reviewer, that's like, no, I can't. I literally, I think one note, I've got 3 pages worth of notes. There's so many stuff here. So if we miss something, I apologise, but we're not going to go through all of it. I mean,
no.
But yeah, obviously had the one I like is had the bit. I think it was was it Gargano had like a Gargano escape or something. I think it was a submission, and then you got from behind you got Pete Dunne like bending his arm back, and then kind of doing a bit of joint manipulation with the hands and stuff. But they did have a lot of those spots where it's just like one guy had one move in, and another person put another move in, or like doing their finisher move but putting 2 people in it instead of 1. They did a lot of that. I mean, again, it just shows they know each other so well. I think that's what I think it works. Did it feel like a PWG? Was it PWG type match?
There were some PWG vibes for sure. I think all those guys were involved in PWG, especially Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, Johnny Gargano. I think I'm not quite sure about Dunn or Cross, but yeah, lots of fun fests, like almost not goofy, but kind of bordering on the line there. But they had to go quick because they had a very small amount of time, a small window before Karrion Kross eventually gets back up again and starts throwing people over the barricade.
Yep, I got about it. Smart. Think about it. Here's a smart strategy, isn't it? Like chuck them over the barricade,
Yeah, he poor Johnny Gargano. So first and foremost, he gets picked up by Kross, and his back is just slammed against the edge of the apron, which looked like it hurt. And then he's dragged straight into the ring, and not only very kind of Brock Lesnar vibes. We had Suplex City, now we've had a tornado F5 just launches Johnny.
I mean, it looks cool. I mean, to be fair, it's like I think what was it? Who does it? Was it Brian Cage on AEW does like somebody else does like a variation of the F5. It's like you see a lot of people using the F5 now as a finisher or some sort of move. That again, I would love to be a storyline when Brock comes back saying, "Stop nicking my move," starts taking, he goes to AEW, takes out Cage or somebody else, and stop nicking my move. Then come WWE, goes after Kross, stop nicking my move. He's like, it won't happen, of course.
I wouldn't mind seeing Cage against Brock or Kross against Brock.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, I know I wouldn't because obviously that'd be too much, but that's what I was feeling anyway. But yeah, you got that. You obviously got a bit after, obviously, when he destroyed everyone. Obviously, when you talked about the F5s later on, but like, we destroyed everyone. And then he had this in a match as well, where he was in the ring and he's just like, yeah, I want you. I think it was later on, it was Pete Dunne. But then in this match, it was Adam Cole. He's like, I want you. And it had this bit when he's fighting on the apron and stuff, or the fighting on the stage. We had like a Kross was going to hit a power bomb onto the stage, but I think Cole countered it. And then Pete Dunne came in. Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano came in. They fought, attacking him. But the big spot of the one that probably took him out for most of the match was they finally used the stage, kind of like they did last year. Properly use it, where they kind of took both Dunne and Gargano, basically chucked him into that door on the stage, and he went through it. And as someone said here, big bump here, but yeah, he was out for majority of it. And then, as I said here, as I said earlier, they just basically went nuts. They went crazy. They just like spot after spot after spot after spot. It was just so hard to follow, but in the best possible way. If you're watching this without having to keep in touch in every move, this was pretty cool when you think about it, right? But I mean, you've got. I mean, I'm assuming you've got the same notes as me. Have you got any like big spots you want to like? Because I guess we might have similar or maybe different spots that we enjoyed more or less. Maybe we've got to mention some of them.
Yep. Yeah, there were some callbacks to other previous superstars as well. So we had the Dean Ambrose-esque rebounds from Kyle O'Reilly when he's knocked out of the ring and then comes back in delivering some lariats. Lots of lariats being delivered when Kross is back in the ring. Everyone just tries to take him down. Eventually, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly have to work together.
I like that.
And they powerbomb. They powerbomb Karrion Kross on the table. We have a submission battle between Pete Dunne, and Kyle O'Reilly. We have a lovely net breaker. Believe it's from Adam Cole, which Adam Cole onto Kyle O'Reilly, which also looked pretty painful as well.
To be fair, every time in that Sun Sanctuary match when he hit that, it was always felt uncomfortable. It's like I don't know if his way he hits it or because I don't think he has neck injuries, but it's just like it's so horrible. You
soon will be after that. I love the spot with Pete Dunne doing a moonsault into the ring to try and hit both Gargano and Cole, and he just eats 2 super kicks whilst he's mid-air. Very similar to basically the Ricochet spot. Yeah.
But just instead of 1 super kick, it's 2. Yeah, I mean, I love that one as well. I mean, it was a bit early on when like that kind of got with like, was it Gargano was stacked? I think was it Carl and Cole in the corner? I think Kyle O'Reilly was in the corner, and then he kind of I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like he wrapped kind of Cole's legs on top rope and kind of put him down upside down, and then kind of Dunn came in, and then kind of was it Gargano kind of countered a bitter end, and then kind of launched was it Dunn into Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly in the corner. I kind of like that because it's just like, you know, as someone said, very creative there, you know.
It was, and Adam Cole was upside down for a very long time.
I know, poor Adam Cole. But yeah, we had probably near the end. You had obviously John Gargano hitting a double, as I said earlier, double kind of like Gargano escape on both Cole and Dunn. Yeah, and then we've got kind of Adam Cole kind of always kind of mentioned it before when it kind of like Adam Cole keeps getting in the way. Someone hits the finish or a big move, he comes in, chucks them out. I think he done it to Gargano twice. There was a bit near the end where it's like I think a lot of them were hitting their own finishes. You know, I think Cole hit a Powerhouse Sunrise. I think what was it? Kyle O'Reilly hit that kind of that flying knee that he hits in the back of the neck. But you had I think you had one, maybe two. One final beat for Johnny Gargano.
Yep.
Hit one of those. But yeah, we had how many brain busters in this whole show? To be fair, we had like so many in this show. A lot of brain busters, especially one. We had one on the outside as well. That kind of ended in the kind of thing where I said earlier, where they went after Adam Cole after they powerbombed him, as you mentioned. Obviously, you had that thing with Cross. Was like, yeah, I want Pete Dunne. It's like, yeah, you want Pete Dunne? You're mad. You're crazy. He's going to take you out.
Now, this is out of all the matches I want to see, so they could have done, I think they eventually will, have Karrion Kross go one-on-one against all of these guys. The match I'm most looking forward to now, even though like he was pretty much the dark horse, I guess, of this match, probably Pete Dunne. I want to see Pete Dunne against Karrion Kross.
Oh, because the match never seen before.
Match never seen before, and they just both looked very hungry, and they just wanted to smash each other's teeth in, which is fantastic. He says, bring it. From Pete Dunne, that little gesture there. We have the bitter end, the triangle choke, elbows, more and more elbows. We have a cross jacket onto Dunne, but Pete Dunne manages to escape, grabbing onto the fingers. Even Karrion Kross is looking worried, and he gets his fingers snapped.
He did sell it quite well, actually. I did like that selling of it. It's like, bloody hell, it's like you put it, wasn't it? But I did like that. But obviously near the end he did hit that kind of cross jacket kind of submission a lot. I think he put it on like two for pretty much everyone. Or he tried. I think there was one with what was it? Gargano tried it, and he had a nice little thing where he tried to use the ropes and kind of he turned it into a pin attempt. But it wasn't enough. Again, it's just Cole. The whole point in this match was to make Kross look like a badass or a beast. You can't. You've put him through everything. You've hit everything, and you can't put this guy down. But again, it's like the finish was quite cool as well when you think about it, because obviously it was Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly going against each other. He's fed up with him getting involved, and we know the history. And he was hit the was it that knee? What's it called? What's it called? His finisher was it hook lock? I think it is. Yeah, like the kind of hook lock, had that in. Looks like Adam Cole was going to tap, and then from behind you had Kross locking that cross jacket submission, and I mean, and I kind of like the bit was like you got Kyle O'Reilly still holding on to Cole with this submission, and it kind of you see Kyle O'Reilly slowly fading, but he still kept on, But then eventually released it. Adam Cole was obviously his leg hurting, and then it was it's like basically like anything. Put a lot, Kyle was pretty much out at this point, and then obviously ref was going to pull. Didn't do one of that 1, 2, 3 kind of checking if he was out. So Cross basically a KO for a KO win basically for Karrion Kross, and got the win. No one in a million years thought he wouldn't win here, because we all know what the premise of the match was. But the question is, could you sit there and say, because some people say it's like without him in it, it was a very good match, but when he was in it, was I think could this be his best match?
Obviously, I think kind of including the match with Finn Balor, which I quite enjoyed as well. But this multi-man match had a nice kind of dynamic of everything. Everyone's all against all, desperately trying to get that pinfall, that submission before Karrion Kross comes to again. And then just the monster coming in and just destroying everyone. I think they got a good balance. However, I do think they did try to cram in a few too many spots.
It did feel it could have, like, because some of the matches needed time. They could have put this down to like 24 minutes at least.
Yeah, oversaturated slightly, but a couple minutes, a few spots too many. But I think it was a well balanced match. I thought everyone got some good spots in and everyone looked good. I think especially, but again, like Pete Dunne looked great. And I'm looking forward to seeing that matchup. Yeah,
I mean, I like the idea. I think one match I would want to see, just because it would be a great match, is like, again, the dynamic was really cool, but one match I would like to see as well is a Cross versus Pete Dunne, as you said. I would love to see Gargano versus Kyle O'Reilly. Because I think I mean, I just like that dynamic. I think that's a match that could just be like amazing. So, but they're probably going to go for Cole, because when Cole was in the building, it's the only match he's got to take him out eventually, Kyle O'Reilly, right? Probably take him out before he goes after the NXT title. But I think it was just like a bit over the top sometimes. But I think you're right. The balance was good. I think I never felt bored, because sometimes you can't overdo that. But it was pace. I think it worked, because obviously Cross coming in kind of like changed it up when he came in. So when he was out, they can do all them crazy spots. But obviously the quick. If I'm going to sit there and say, by far the match of the night, surely.
Yeah, I'd say so.
No offense to the other matches, but again, the whole feud, except for maybe the ladder match, was the whole kind of show was built around the Fatal 5-Way. So, but yeah, I mean, it just proves that they can go, and they've got a pretty decent NXT championship kind of division going.
Yeah,
I think they've got a good mix, but I'm intrigued. Like all those kind of variations between all those people going against Cross, or like like Gargano pretty much going against anyone, would be like really fun. So, but yeah, I mean, the question is now is obviously, as you said before, it's like, do you think Cross is losing that title to Kyle O'Reilly, or do you think maybe Dunne might be a good shout? I mean, who do you think they're going to go for?
I think they'll probably go for. Everyone will face Cross at some point, and you'll probably end up with either Kyle O'Reilly winning it, or a little bit later on down the line, like Bronson Reed, if you want to have that kind of big Colossus match. Yep, something like that. A kind of shot in the dark, not shot in the dark, or like kind of dark horse. Maybe if we don't know where Keith Lee is, maybe he returns, maybe he comes back to NXT.
And I'm intrigued to hear his story, because apparently it's a story that we might not hear, but I think there's like more meets the eye why he's been absent. But yeah, I would like to see him back. But yeah, they put him in NXT. But
one thing they might do, I think we'll have Cole and Cross at some point. Obviously Dunne and Gargano. If they do build towards that big match with Kyle O'Reilly, still continuing on with that feud with Cole, where when Kyle O'Reilly wins it, Adam Cole is maybe involved in the finish, and as a result, Cole has the whole thing like, you're the only reason you're champion is because of me. That again, that ties back into Undisputed Era. When we were in Undisputed Era, we held all the gold. That's because of me.
Yeah,
because of my leadership.
I like that stuff. And then his first title defense could be against him, and then eventually, and then eventually, like, you know, finally prove once, yeah, that could work. I mean, but I don't know. I think anything works here. I'm still on the fence with Karrion Kross anyway, because it's like, there was a comment I think Adam Cole said that's kind of true. It's like they're trying everything to make you special, but the only thing that makes me special is me in the ring. Like, you know, it's like I thought that was really close to home. It's like, yeah, it's kind of true.
How do they make Adam Cole special? They just ring the freaking bell. No,
it's just like, I gotta be honest. Nothing against Kross, they have tried. I just don't think he's had that stand-up match yet. I think if he went against these guys more, and they kind of fleshed out his character a little bit more, I think he could work. Yeah. But at the moment, he feels like they're trying way too hard to put over when they just put him against like Adam Cole or like Kyle O'Reilly or someone else, like, you know, and then make him look great. So, but yeah, I think that comment from Adam Cole kind of perfectly kind of puts my feelings towards him at the moment across, you know. But I think he looked good at us, and yeah, I'm intrigued to see where he go next. But yeah, obviously normally it'd be like, well, that's the end of the show. We're just going to go and round up. But there was another twist right at the end with obviously a camera's panning to the back. What was it? William Regal was kind of looked like he's had a bad day or a bad evening because he looked knackered. And he was basically,
the kids have been misbehaving.
Yes, and it literally felt like that, didn't it? He's like, he's just had, it's been a long day. He gets out his office, and then this cameraman's in there. It's like, oh, so what, you know, went crazy last night. What are you thinking of the show tonight? And he's just basically like, I've been here for 7 years. I've never seen this kind of bedlam. I love it when I love that word, bedlam. It's like, it's been never seen such craziness. I'm like, you were from the Attitude Era, but okay, William. We'll let you off it. But
people pissed in your tea. You know, this is.
I know, but this is the most madness you've ever experienced. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he said maybe they need a change. So obviously they're implying that William Regal's going to step down as GM, and we're going to.
I hope not.
It sounds like we're going, and we're going to get a new GM. So they set up quite. I guess they set up quite nicely with all the craziness for the show. I mean, but to be fair, no one blames him. You can't control everything, but apparently,
no.
I mean, I'd love to them to flesh it out a bit more on NXT this week, maybe. But the question I'm kind of asked before we finish up is, if he is leaving, who would you want to take over? The rumors are maybe like Samoa Joe, maybe if he's still not under contract, maybe. But who would you go for, like as a new GM?
Yes, there were rumors about that. As we know, Samoa Joe is not afraid of picking a fight or standing up for himself. Like even when he's on commentary, people have like asked him like to move or told him to move because they want to put something in that table. It's like, no, I'm sitting here, dude. Make me move. He doesn't put up with any crap. Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross would be quite good.
Why did they release him? Damn it! But
come back in, I guess, a similar kind of contract or reduced contract, whatever. Just a GM role, but I want to see Samoa Joe like on screen, or even the partnership of Regal and Samoa Joe would be quite nice.
Or like he can be. I don't want to say enforcer because that means we have like evil GM. We've done enough of those.
No, yeah, I think so. That kind of muscle, yeah, I think so. The good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, I mean it could interesting sketches, but I mean unless they're teasing and then they're not going to deliver, that wouldn't surprise me. But I feel like it feels like a lot of people at NXT are saying complaining about. It's like it feels a bit. You know, like, I don't want to say stale because it isn't in some ways, but it felt like it needs something a bit of change, right? It needs something to change up, something new, fresh. I don't think this is it.
Or do you think it's just simply something along the lines of, no, we're going to go back to Full Sail and we'll have the whole crowd back? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it's just something as simple as that rather than retiring or stepping away from my duties.
I'm not against that, but from what I see online and what they kind of implied through the show, it kind of is implied that he's leaving. So, but again, maybe it's like I can't control in this environment. Maybe we need to go back. Maybe it teases they're going on tour. Maybe I don't know, but I just think if this is their way of saying we need to change things up, you know, Vince, you know, change things, you know, it's like, no, this is it.
Change things up here, wild card.
Yeah, I can't believe this do that stupid rule. But I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not a fan of it because again, it depends on who they pick. But it did come for me. It came out of the blue, personally, like the kind of storyline.
Yeah.
Maybe they've set it up in NXT before, but I don't think I've seen anything when I was watching it for like my week to week. But
well, it gives us a reason to tune in next week, which is great. That's what you want.
Yeah, well, I definitely am. I was probably going to tune in anyway for the Cam and Grime stuff anyway, because I kind of is my go-to guy at the moment. But yeah, just thought bring up. So yeah, that's it. Kind of they ended it on that and not the match with Cameron Cross holding that title high. So yeah, I think we've got a good decent time. So I don't think we've raved too long. So let's try and wrap this up there. So yeah, so probably talked about our thoughts at the beginning, but just a nice little. Now we've talked about the whole show. What's your thoughts as the show as a whole? Do you think it was it? A lot of people were hesitant. This might be a bad show. Was it a really good show, or do you think did the main event save it, or what's your thoughts on the show? Like, was it another good takeover by NXT?
Solid matches. There were no bad matches apart from maybe the Xia Li, Raquel, not Raquel González, Mercedes Martinez match. Even though that wasn't a bad match, it was ladder matches. You expect more. But again, kind of working with what they have, and I like the concept, so that kind of saved it. There need to be more stakes in that first match, and ultimately results are kind of inevitable, pretty much inevitable. So what I would say is not a bad show, but much like most, I guess, main roster pay-per-views, is if you didn't watch it, fine, you didn't really miss much.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. I mean, if you said to a friend like, "What have I missed?" Say maybe watch the main event, just for the sake of just watching a great match, like a really good technical match. But yeah, I think some people are right. I mean, am I just like turning into that guy, or just think does it need a shaking up? Does it need a bit more new stars, like something new? Because that's what NXT was all about, wasn't it?
A couple of new faces would be good. They've got new concepts with the $1 Million Championship, contenders for the World Championship. I'd probably like to see maybe a few more tag teams,
men and women.
Men and women, especially the women's division, absolutely. But the kind of change, nothing big needs to happen. I think once you got the full crowds back, I think you'd be grand. I think you'd be sorted.
Yeah, it's only little changes.
Very, very minuscule changes. You don't have to shake things up or anything like that. A couple of new faces won't hurt. Samoa Joe would be fantastic.
I think maybe that's what they're starting off with. Maybe William Regal, they think maybe need a new GM for it if it makes it up a little bit.
No,
but
I don't think they need to change that at all unless he wants to and he wants to call it a day. Okay, fine, I respect that. Thank you very much, Regal. But ultimately, if it's a creative decision where we think, we have to get rid of Regal just to shake things up, I think that's a bad move.
But again, I guess the only way to find out is obviously with what they use, what it turns into. Because it might sound bad now, but then if it turns into like more intriguing storyline, again, you're the same as me. We'll definitely be up for it. We'll be definitely intrigued. But yeah, the rumours are Samoa Joe. It's weird because he's out of contract. So if they wanted to use him, why sack him? But WWE for you.
There we go.
It make no sense. But let's finish off. Grading wise, we all like maybe like a point system, whatever. Let's go. So would you give it out of 10? Would you give it 7? Maybe 7? Or do you think that's too generous?
To us, well, most takers are getting like 8 and 9s mostly anyway, so this is kind of bang average 7. You know, kind of underwhelming, like slightly, but I guess the card wasn't that great, and again, it's fairly predictable. So, like going down to 6.5 might be harsh, but you know, we had a decent main event, which is okay. So yeah, 7, but bang average. If everyone says, should I watch the show? Don't have to. You can miss it.
Yeah, I mean, and just to point out a 7. Some people say that's really good. It's like for NXT standards, though. It's like it's like
for a takeover. Yeah.
But it's again for like maybe you could miss it, but for like in general watching it, I still enjoyed it. I don't think it's ever an NXT takeover I don't enjoy. It's just some are better than others. But yeah, I would say it's 7. I think that's a fair assessment. But I think we've done a good level of talking. I don't think it's too long this time, but obviously this might change. But that's our review of NXT Takeover in your house. So it's good show. hoping that obviously we get a Great American Bash start of next month. So probably in, oh god, I just realised it's 2 or 3 weeks. Only got a couple more weeks to go review that.
Well, that's not a takeover. It's just a show, so we don't have to. Woo, get out of jail free card.
Well, maybe I might, just because I'm a sucker for reviewing things. So maybe I might. But if it's not that takeovers, probably I don't know what their next one is. Maybe the one about SummerSlam. I'm sure they're doing one, whatever one that is.
Must be.
So I think that's the big one, because they've got big plans for SummerSlam. So maybe when they want all the fans back. So maybe there's a big one there. But yeah, so NXT, we're back for that. Reviews in general, we'll be back for the Hell in a Cell. That'll be on. Was it? Because as you guess, you're gonna get a double whammy of reviews for us the next couple of weeks.
Lucky you.
Indeed, yes. Hell in a Cell. The last couple ones has probably given me more headaches and more anger because of changing of rules and terrible finishes. So please don't mess anything up this time, please. Just have decent Hell in a Cell matches. Just calm down, because we all know that certain Hell in a Cell that destroyed everyone's soul and we hated so much. So none of that, please. But
last year's show was good, but try and make the rest of the card relevant, not just the Hell in a Cell matches.
Yeah, I haven't seen the cards yet because I haven't checked it, but we're obviously leading up a will. But yeah, obviously it's going to have. I've seen Roman Reigns versus Rey Mysterio. That should be quite interesting. So.
Very, very out of the blue, or out of the blue brand.
For you.
But you would have thought maybe Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso, like that kind of repeat exactly the same stipulation. I've got to teach your brother the same thing as I taught you.
Maybe, but I think again that could story they can do down the line, because they are teasing it quite well. So, but yeah, I mean, Rey Mysterio, I mean, you got a solid work. Yeah, that's a match I'm intrigued, because obviously someone said that it's only been 2 weeks setting up for that. And he's done a pretty damn good job trying to set it up. All he's done is just basically attack his son, chuck him over the top ropes, and took him out. So his father's pissed, and then there you go, you got a match.
Sweet, simple.
But anyway, we'll talk about that when we talk about pay-per-view next week. But yeah, we'll be back for that. Yes, I'm assuming prediction stuff will be out soon. I assume next couple of days.
Yep, they'll be out soon. Yep, in the next couple of days or so. If you want to find out the results, so keep an eye on our Twitter page where I post all the results. That's at Josh and Stu Pod on Twitter.
Yes, and obviously if you want to take part in the prediction thing in general, or like our NXT one, or obviously our main roster stuff as well, you can email us at joshandstewpod@gmail.com.
joshandstewpodcast@gmail.com.
Where did I get pod from? Almost.
That's on the Twitter. Yeah.
So confusing. We've got so many stuff, mine can't work. But yes, joshandstewpodcast@gmail.com if you want any information about the prediction thing, or if you just want to get involved, because it is tons of fun. So yeah, if you want to get involved for that, yeah. So cool. So guessing more to wrap, nothing more really to say other than we'll be back for Hell in a Cell. Have an awesome week. It's going to be really warm if you're listening from the UK, so enjoy the sun. Yeah, we'll be back for that. I've been Stuart Van.
I've been Joshua Plummer.
And see you at Hell in a Cell. Bye, everyone.
See you then.